Did you save room for dessert? Everything we do in life is a choice. One of the most frightening things is to think we actually have chosen to live our lives exactly the way it is today. The reason it's frightening is because we may not like what we see when we look at our lives. 10 years from now, what will your life look like if you don't improve in some areas? What do you want from life? We only get to go around one time. You might as well make it a good one. When you answer that question, ask yourself, what else do you want from life? What does life have to offer? Do you know what you want? If you don't, it's now time to sit down and think about it. It might be sketchy, but start to write it down on paper. You can define it later. Make it a little bit more clear. A lot of us can tell others what we don't want, but what do you want? What do we want with our life? A lot of us know what we don't want, but what do you want? If we don't know where we're going, we're obviously lost. Just like when we take a trip or vacation and we need directions for our dreams and goals. What are your dreams? All of us want to be happy. Each one of us does things that we believe will make us happy. Sometimes we do stupid stuff, especially when we're younger, because we thought it would make us happy. Each of us is looking for happiness. It's different for each one of us. We know what would make us happy, and we know that we need to change some of the things in our lives to achieve that happiness. But we won't do it. For a lot of us, it's too comfortable to stay comfortably miserable. When we tell ourselves we're too busy to chase our dreams, we must ask ourselves, what are we too busy doing? Why is it that we get so caught up in our careers that we don't have time for anything else, including our families? Was it our objective in life to be so busy that we don't have time for anything else in life other than work? Why is it that the only sense of purpose we have is at the place we work? Isn't life meant to offer each one of us more purpose and meaning? Our whole life is based on a pursuit and answer to 5 questions, and we spend our whole life trying to answer these 5 questions. And those 5 questions are: who am I? Where did I come from? What am I here for? How do I do it? And where am I going? Life is wrapped up in those 5 questions, and those 5 only. Isn't it sad that every time someone is asked what they do, they always respond with what they do on their job? Isn't life more than that? It's an open-ended question that can have many answers, but it goes back to how we see self and where we place our self-worth. Unfortunately, too many people in our society have all of their self-worth wrapped up in their jobs. If they lose their job, they lose their worth. Our lives are meant for us to become the best version of ourselves. Until we discover self, we wander around lost without the map that leads to where we want to go. In each of our lives, there is great danger in thinking that who we are, where we are, and what we already have is all that there is to life. Are you happy living in surviving mode, or would you like to move to thriving mode? The reason a lot of us neglect our legitimate need is because we're too busy pursuing our illegitimate wants. Unfortunately, we never get enough of our illegitimate wants. We never get enough of that which we really didn't need in the first place. We can't find purpose and life meaning in pleasure. Pleasure is going to last for a short period, and then we're going to seek something else to give us that high again. The biggest challenge for each of us is to create the type of lifestyle that will allow our needs, desires, and talents to live in harmony with one another. But beyond a little extra money in the bank, a nicer home, a better vehicle, and a yearly vacation or two, what else do you want out of life? What do you want your life to stand for? If we want our life to change, we must change our life. And that always starts in the mind. We always destroy ourselves from within. Likewise, we also improve self from within. We all have areas in our lives that we have not mastered. Our lives begin to change when we stop replying to questions and we start to ask them. The questions that need to be asked are the ones you need to ask yourself. Life will start to respond to us when we start to ask questions. The sad thing is, you must be ready to hear the answers. If you're not ready for the answers, you might not be ready to ask the questions. The answers to our questions will show us our flaws that need to be corrected. Have you been neglecting things that you said were important to you, your family, your kids? We can't keep running east and trying to catch the sunset, and we can't run west trying to catch a sunrise. What I'm saying is we might need to have a course correction if we are to realize our dreams and goals. We might have been looking at the map backwards the whole time. We make choices every day, hence the title. Did you save room for dessert? Do those choices lead us closer to happiness or further away? If we only do what we feel like doing, we will live a life of complete misery. What is missing from your life? Only you can answer that question. Have you been searching for that piece of the puzzle for quite some time? If we don't see self better, we will never become better. Slow down and relax for a spell. We normally hear about when I say something like slow down and relax, normally we call that meditation. So slow down and relax for a spell each day. Go to a place where you have total silence and just find that inner peace. If you ask most people if they want to be successful, each one of them will give you a resounding yes. However, if you ask each one of them what success looks like to them, they would have trouble defining it. What are your dreams? What are your needs? What do you desire? Where do your talents lie? Do these answers actually harmonize with one another? Who are you? What type of person do you need to become to realize your dreams and goals? The fullness of our lives come from knowing self. If we want our future to be better than our past, we're going to have to eventually address our weak areas. How do you make decisions? What do you base those decisions on? Are your decisions emotional or analytical? We should be able to dream without limitations. A lot of us will go through life and we have grand dreams. Grand dreams a lot of times cost a lot of money. And we started working in the system, and our income doesn't match our dreams. And unless we find a way to increase our income, what most of us do, we'll find a way to shrink our dreams. You have to put a price tag on your dreams. You have to know what your dreams are going to cost you. We're going to always have a lot of reasons to give up. But we have to think of the reasons we shouldn't. And that comes with discipline. When and if you decide to walk a new path, everyone's not going to understand. They aren't supposed to. They will call you a dreamer in a negative way. They will call you crazy. And the question you have to ask yourself is, have you been working on you and your family's master plan? Or do you spend every day working on the master's plan?